What's going on, YouTube? I wanted to go ahead and put out this clear I've been working on. I have been working on it on stream tonight and kind of working through, like, you know, turn orders and what works and what doesn't work. And I was having a little bit of trouble with, like, getting things to line up just the way I wanted to. And then my last run, like, I ended up not having enough LB on all my units to do all the burst on the last turn. And I got really frustrated with it and just, like, gave up on the night. And then I was like, well, let's go ahead and try it. And then I worked it out off camera and it worked. So I wanted to go ahead and get this working on camera just so I can put it out there. I will say that this clear is obviously not like as much damage as some other clears that exist out there. But I will say that I am really proud of it. Even if it's not that, you know, high score, I'm pretty pleased with it because I got it to work. And I was able to kind of get the order and everything in place without taking damage and do all the buffs and everything that I wanted to do. And kind of creating it from scratch. So I'm pretty pleased with it. And if it even helps you a little bit along the way, or if you don't understand the mechanics, I'm going to talk about the mechanics and some things that we can kind of replace and play with as we go. And this is going to maybe help with that. And maybe you can do better than me. Maybe you can take this and run with it and apply your own stuff and score better. And if so, awesome. I'm not pushing that hard. I would just like to do as well as I can. And plus, I'm also not too worried about it because we've got 2 more weeks to keep playing with it. But I like this clear. This clear is fun for me because it's using some units that I really wanted to get some use out of for Dark Visions, and so I'm excited for it. Yeah, let's take a look. Our team consists of Sky, Tybus, Lara, Louise, Angela, who I'm excited to bring to the party, and Zon. And just to kind of give a brief rundown of what everyone's doing, Sky for the first 6 turns is filling LB gauge for Angela. Lara is doing Nethicite in the base form on every even turn, and then doing stacks of her own LB and chaining on the other turns, and then doing burst on the end. Tybus is going to do pretty much nothing the whole fight, and then he's going to burst at the end. Louise is filling LB gauge for Angela pretty much every turn, and then applying some breaks and buffs and stuff like that. And then Angela is stacking her LB and bursting at the end. Zon is spreading buffs, passive provoke evasion with ice and lightning resist, and then he's also giving us lightning resist buffs along the way. So we'll look at the gear at the end if this works, and we'll go from here. Okay? Cool. Glad you're excited. I'm excited. Are you excited? You should be. All right, turn order becomes very important when we're talking about stacking LBs that have to be refilled every turn. So the very first thing we're going to do is shift our stacking units and then stack their LBs. Crystal Barrage, True Ancient Curse. I love Angela. I'm excited to get to use her in this. All right, now that they've depleted their LB gauges, Zon is going to triple cast AR just to make more crystals. These 3 for the next several turns are just going to be doing the same thing every turn. Sometimes I'm just going to do it all at once. Other times I'm going to be doing it like individually. Tybus is going to guard. Sky is going to rally and cry. If you don't have a lion emblem to do rally and cry, you could do Paws of Prosperity, which we just got. Otherwise, there's not really a whole lot out there to just like autofill LB. She could chain on the boss to fill LB. Just don't equip weapons, and that way she doesn't do very much damage. But yeah. And then Louise is going to fill LB pretty much every turn. Tybus just stands there looking handsome with his beard. Every even turn, Lara is going to Nethicite. Manufactured Nethicite. If you don't have Manufactured Nethicite, you could use Sword of Kings, which is Ash's STMR. You just have to have it, and you have to have equipped Sword on Lara. Otherwise, use the ability if you have it. But, you know, we're absorbing the lightning spell that way. Always do Nethicite at the end of your turn. Angela's going to stack. Zon's going to use his LB because on turn 3, the boss is going to do an AoE attack that is physical, and this gives us a bunch of stacks of Mirage, so this will make sure it's going to be in place next turn. Okay, we're going to reload, and Lara is going to just use Manufactured there at the end, so we'll do Sky, Louise, Tybus, wait for them to finish, Nethicite. So there's some single target, there's thunder spells that gets absorbed by the Nethicite. Cool. This turn, it's turn 3, so it's odd, so we can go ahead and stack with Lara. Stack with Angela. Zon is going to cast Bar Blizzaga, or Bar Thundaga rather, for a thunder resistance. We need that. And then the top 3 are just going to reload. Thrilling, isn't it? Okay. Turn 4. There is the AoE attack that we dodged thanks to Zon's LB. Turn 4 is even, so we're going to be doing Nethicite at the end, right? I like to have Zon go ahead and refill or refresh the Bar Thundaga again, just to make sure it's in place when we need it. Angela gets her final stack before she force shifts back to the base form. Sky rallies. Tybus guards. And Louise fills LB. Okay. Incoming ice and thunder spell, which Lara immunes. Okay. Turn 5 is where we're gonna burst, or a chain rather. It's a very boring turn for the enemy. He just does some single target stuff on Zon, so it's relatively safe to do that on turn 5. Bring your best chainers. Get to the 100 points or 100 hits. I'm gonna be doing it with 4 bolting strike chainers. There are better ways to do this if you don't have 4 bolting strike. I did that every time. Okay. If you don't have 4 bolting strikes, you chain with whoever you want. Doesn't really matter as long as you get to 100. No one really cares. I get 107 there. Okay. Angela is going to triple. She's going to use Latent Magic, Ancient Curse, Shield of Mana. And Tybus is going to not losing anything more, not giving an inch, and Ice Sphere. That way we don't do too much damage. Alright. Alright, there we go. And that turn was why we needed the lightning resist, because we couldn't absorb that or evade it otherwise. So the lightning resist Bar Thundaga is very good for that. Turn 6, he's going to do that AoE physical again. So we're going to use Zon to limit burst. Lara is going to Nethicite on an even turn. Angela's going to shift and get another stack of her LB. Cool. That's our 5th stack. So we don't need any more stacks at this point. So we have 5. We're good to go. Tybus is going to resume guard duty. Sky is going to rally. And Louise is going to just quad Ionic. She can do this in either form. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Zon's going to LB for the Mirage stacks. There we go. Oh, man, she's filled up. Nice. That was the problem we had when I was doing this on stream. Lara is going to Nethicite. Cool. Turn 7, you have to do it in a very precise order. Sky is going to shift. And she's going to Sharp Spear Focus, Severe Squall, Overcast Skies. Because Sky has 1 more turn of lightning resistance, we're going to borrow that from her with Zon, using double up, critical mirror for her buffs and killers and stuff like that, and then elemental on her to borrow her lightning resistance and put it on to Zon. So he's going to go from having 1 more turn of it to 5 turns of it, because when you borrow buffs, it makes them last longer. There we go. And on the next turn, we're going to spread that around, so that's why that's there. Turn 7, Louise is going to disarming and then Ionic. But before she does, we're going to do volatile. And Angela is going to just go ahead and do a hot shot. Okay. So disarming for the gun in peril, and then filling up that LB gauge. Okay. And Tybus is just going to continue guarding on turn 7. Cool. Turn 8, Angela is going to hot shot again. Alright. Zahn is now going to, he's going to Reflector. This time we're going to triple cast. We're going to borrow the Elemental Fire Imbue from Angela. We're going to Mystical Mirror to prevent the lightning attack coming in on turn 8. Because Lara can't do Nethicite this turn, so Zahn's going to do it with Mystical Mirror, which is the same thing. And then we're going to project our buffs. Louise is going to Firestarter for the field effect. Let's do this in the base form. Firestarter for the field effect. Incapacitate, and Ionic. Lara is going to downshift and use Tybus' Spirit. Tybus is going to use Tybus' Spirit. Lara is now full. Angela is now full. We're ready for a kill on turn 9. So we're going to go ahead and use them. Zahn is now going to share all of the buffs. Looking good. Let's take a look at what our stats are like. So 72, 82, 76. So we're looking pretty good. I can't really see Lara's shifted stats because she's in base form, but we're looking good. So Sky's gonna go ahead and jump. Awesome. There's Zahn absorbing that thunder attack and all the physical attacks. We've taken no damage this whole fight. Even though now you can take damage, I still like to take no damage just because it looks good. We're going to do SLB here. Tybus is finally like, I'm going to participate in this fight. Lara is going to go ahead and use her Limit Burst, which is fully stacked. Angela's fully stacked. And Louise is going to Bolting Strike 3 times and then hit Nano Machine. Zahn is going to Bolting Strike 3 times. And the order we're going to do this in is I'm going to launch Angela first. When the meteors start coming down, Tybus is going to go, and then the chainers are going to go. Lara and Sky are going to jump in at the end as well. So here goes. Last time I did this, I got 6.2 billion, so I'd like to do a little bit better. Maybe we'll get a better variance roll this time. Here we go. Tybus, chainers, Lara, Sky. And because we don't get a full chain on the last turn, that is why we chained on turn 5. 6.3. We got a new score. Awesome. Let's see how this pumps us up. We got a better variance roll that time. Yeah, there's our damage. You know, Angela did the most. Lara, Sky did like less than I'm usually expecting. Tybus, I wish you could do better, but it is what it is. And let's take a look. So I got a new score. I was at 70 point something something. Now I'm at 78. This should be a new high score, new record. There we are. 422 rank. So let's see how we're doing amongst friends. Yep, still in 7th place. So I need to push a little harder if I want to catch up to Speedy here. But you know, it is what it is. I'm not working too hard at it. Still got 2 more weeks, and you know, Clash of Wills is coming out, and maybe the new unit will be helpful here. We'll see, especially because it has built-in Dragon Killer, which should be very helpful. Or at least we assume it's going to, because the Clash of Wills boss is aquatic and dragon, so we're going to assume that they're going to be good at fighting dragons. So yeah, there's my clear. Hopefully that's helpful to somebody out there. You know, it is what it is. I haven't been too interested in doing a whole lot of dark vision stuff, just because a lot of what I have is not really helping me be creative with like different types of clears. Like I had to work really hard to get the slagworm one done just because I don't have good lightning DPS. But there it is. So there's my current Kokuryu clear as of March 19th. So enjoy. Hope that helps. Take care. You know what? I realized after the fact that I forgot to do the gear because it's late and I'm tired, and oh my gosh, I've done this so many times today that yeah, crazy. Okay, so here's our team again, and let's talk about the gear. Okay, so in the base form, Sky's not wearing anything except for a bunch of lightning resistant stuff. She does happen to have the lion emblem, so if you don't have the lion emblem, because I know it's time limited, you could also use Paws of Prosperity, which is also time limited, but they gave it to us, you know, not too long ago. But you know, probably more people have that than they have lion emblems. But there it is. She's got her own vision card, nothing even equipped in the abilities. If you need something there, you could also put like elemental resistance stuff or whatever. And then for her, just her shift form, I've got her set up for jump damage against undead and dragons. She's got plenty of jump damage, undead and dragons, and then as much attack as I can squeeze in there. Because she's not wearing any of the Clash of Will stuff, she does have indestructible light, and still needs some thunder resistance because we need to have more than 100 in any turns where we're not nethersighting or otherwise. So combined with Bar Thundaga, she gets more than 100. So there's Sky. Okay. Tybus, because he's SLB unit, he only gets one form. He has 60% lightning resist. Everybody also has paralysis resistance too. That's important. The boss does do paralysis. He's built the same way. You know, lightning. You know, dragons and reapers. He's not maxed out. His LB damage is not totally maxed out either. It is what it is. You know, he's got this vision card on because I don't have his own. Lara in the base form has LB fill because we need to make sure she's filled up on the turn at the very end. We need to make sure she's filled up, and then she's also got lightning resistance. And then she's got manufactured Nethicite. If you don't have manufactured Nethicite, you could have you could put on equip sword and use Ash's STMR again because that does the same thing. And then she's got her own vision card. Shift form, built for damage, LB damage, dragons and reapers a little bit. You know, I don't have a whole lot of gear to really do a whole lot with. Other people probably have more. She can be a little hard to gear sometimes. It is just what it is. She's got the Magister's clothes, so she doesn't need indestructible light. Louise has pretty much the same build in both forms. In fact, I think it is the same build in both forms. Oh, she just has more killers in her attack form. So she's got lightning resist and, you know, paralysis resistance, and she just does, you know, her own buffs. Doesn't really do a whole lot. But then in the shift form, she is equipped with some killers. So she's got dragon and undead, reaper, you know, 250. She's not really contributing a whole lot of damage to the fight, so I didn't really gear her that hard. But still has thunder resist. Angela only spends one turn in the base form. But while she's there, she needs to have lightning resistance. She needs to have LB fill. I put some auto buffs on her just so that when she goes back to her shift form, she gets some auto buffs. She's got her own vision card, and then in the shift form, she's got a gun because we're doing a gun in peril. And then she's also got LB fill and lightning resist and damage against dragons and reapers. Not as much reaper as I'd like, but it is what it is. Dragon she's innately good at, so 275. We'll see how that changes at max LB because she's doing LB. Doesn't even have max double hand. Not having a staff or a rod kind of messes with that a little bit. And she can be a little tricky to build sometimes, so yeah. Because she's not wearing her own robe, she's got to wear her TMR. There she is. Zahn is the trickiest person on the fight, so he's got LB fill because we need it on turn 1 or turn 2 to do his LB, and then he's got to have ice resistance and thunder resistance. I've got him on Carbuncle so he can cast Bar Thundaga, and then he's got evasion and provoke. So he's got that, and he's also got LB fill. He ends up having 100 evade, and then a fair amount of LB fill. His LB fills up pretty quick. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry I forgot to do it earlier. Like I said, I'm a goober and it's tiring, or I'm tired. So now you can have a good night, and now you can be good to each other, and take care. We'll see you next time.